What's up, guys? You're welcome once again to David Data channel. If this is your first time, you're so much welcome to this channel. And I'd like you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified once the new video drops in every week. And for returning subscribers, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about my switch. How I was able to make a career switch from the banking industry to data analytics. Yes. So I get asked often, hey bro, how are you able to do it? How are you able to switch from banking to data analytics? How did you do it? So in this video, I'm going to be sharing my story, my experiences, how I was able to make that switch happen by the grace of God. And I'm hoping that someone out there who's looking to make a switch to data analytics or a switch to any other industry will be able to pick one or two things out of this video and apply to their own lives. All right, so let's hit the ball rolling. So I'm going to start from the beginning, or in the beginning. All right, so just maybe after NYT, I had a dream of working in a consulting company because I think I loved researching. I loved thinking through problems, giving company strategies. It sounded all interesting and all that. And so I really wanted to do that. So I applied. In fact, I streamlined my applications. Can you imagine the job seeker streamlining my applications only to consulting companies, right? All over Lagos after I came into Lagos. Yeah, and that was my expectation, right? But then I did not get it eventually. So I landed my first job, fortunately, 9 months later with a bank. Yes. And that was not what I wanted, but then I was in the bank. Why was I in the bank? Because I was very passionate about not starving to death. Because I've always been a firm believer of if what I want is not what I have in my hands, I take up what I have in my hands and pursue what I want, right? So that was my first job experience working in the bank. I worked as a teller, a cash and teller officer, receiving cash from customers, doing so much cash counting, payouts, handling of checks for customers, and all that, and stuff like that, right? It was really, really an interesting period. Yeah. So even though that was not what I wanted, even though I did not enjoy it, or as it were, like it's not like I did not enjoy the job. I did not enjoy that's what I wanted to do. Yes, you get the point, right? I knew you get the point. But I was there. I kept on doing my job as diligently as I could, and then finding out extra time to read books and then improve on myself one way or the other. But at that point in time, I did not know what I really wanted to get doing. I knew I didn't want to be in the bank as a teller. I knew I wanted to move, but I was not certain what I wanted to do. I tried several options. I began to explore, right? So for people who are just leaving national youth service, for young chaps, you may find yourself in that shoes where you, especially when you are just getting off your career. And I forgot to say, I studied industrial chemistry, right, in school. I studied industrial chemistry, and I'm moving to the bank. I did not want to do industrial chemistry anymore, and I didn't want to do the bank anymore. So I had to decide what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted, but I sure knew I didn't want to do chemistry. I did also want to do banking. Yes. So, and before I move further, I'd like to say that I am fortunate, or I consider it a thing of joy, that my first experience in the corporate world was in the bank. Not just any bank, but one of Nigeria's top most bank. But one of the things I learned from that place is a strong work ethic, right? When you work in a bank, you have to be fast paced. You have to be top of your game because the banking is fast paced. It requires strong work ethic, right? It requires resilience. There's so much pressure. There's target wherever you are in operations, back office, in sales team. There's so much pressure. You need to be able to work like that strong work ethics. And over time, I was able to develop that work ethics for myself, something that is helping me as a person, as an individual. And for that, I'm grateful for the bank for giving that to me. Yes. And so at that point, I attended an MBA fair, and I saw the course Business Analytics, which was interesting to me because I loved researching, I loved analytics, I loved all those kind of things. Like it sounded fancy to me, and I loved it. I loved the idea of thinking analytically to deduce results out of problems, right? To give solutions to problems. Yeah, and then I went home and searched along those lines what it was, and I discovered that there was such a thing as data science, data analytics, business intelligence, and stuff like that. And at that point, I decided that, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. Because prior to that time, I explored stuff like digital marketing and other stuff like that. Yeah, but I didn't really get a hang over it, so I moved. So within this period when I was deciding that okay, I want to do data analytics, I switched jobs to another bank, right? Bank to bank, right? You see, I'm trying to lead the bank, but then I'm switching banks. Yeah. So this bank as well, where I switched to, and that thing I got from there, the work ethic was, in fact, in my opinion, was higher, right? The work ethics was much more compared to my former place, because I went in a with a higher level, and then which meant that there was more responsibility, which required more work. Yeah, so that was a good thing for me. So at that point, I decided what I wanted, and the next thing that I did was to pursue it with focus, with blind focus. Like, I focused on everything. As a matter of fact, when I moved to these new banks, one of the first things I did was to get a laptop for myself, because previously, part of the things I saw online for data analytics was being able to use Python for analysis. Me not having a laptop was, I thought it was a deficiency, as I couldn't practice or learn Python. And so I got a laptop, and then studied, watched YouTube videos on Python, YouTube videos on Excel, on analysis, any video I could find. You know that kind of random learning. You learn this, you learn that, you learn a bit of SQL, learn a bit of Power BI, learn a bit of Excel, come back to Python, do this. It's my learning was just so random, was just so random. Learning several things here and there, and it was really very difficult, because then I would go to work, come back late at night, because I really don't have time working in the bank. I'm working Monday to Friday, including some Saturdays and Sundays, right? So I'm in the office from 7 o'clock, past 7, sometimes till 7 in the evening, that kind of a thing. I get to Lagos traffic, I get home by 9 o'clock, 9:30. I'm tired, but I still have to find time and read my book and study like 30 minutes or 1 hour. So it was not something that was very funny. Like, it was really, really not an easy task at all. Yeah, but then I had to do it, because I didn't also have Saturdays, right? Some Saturdays will be calls for in the bank, and I have to answer the call, right? And Sundays as well. And but there was a period that was a significant period in my learning, right? And that was during the COVID break in 2020. When there was a total shutdown, I said, "Oh, well, Oluwa, thank you, Lord. This break is not leaving me the same way it met me." So I put in hours day and night, because I wasn't going anywhere the next day, right? I studied the whole day, studied the whole night, sleep in between. So I gave myself to it. Like, I gave my all, myself, my everything to it, right? Everything to it. Yeah. And then I was learning, I was studying, I was learning, I was studying, and I felt I was not learning anything. What they call imposter syndrome, right? I thought I was not learning anything at all, because I still felt like, guy, what are you doing? What are you doing? I experienced, I was frustrated at my level. I felt like, guy, you're not learning anything. Like, in fact, I almost gave up, right? So at that point that I got a mentor. Yeah. And I have several of them, right, who I've met along the way. I met some of them online on LinkedIn, and I connected with them. I said, "Hey, bro, please mentor me. Hey, sis, please mentor me on this." And they've been there for me, really. So at that point, what the mentor was able to do for me was to align my learning process, right? Like I said previously, my learning was zigzag, was haywire. I learned a bit of this and a bit of this, but then there was no alignment. When I got this first mentor, she was like, "Oh, get this course on Excel. Start with Excel. I know you're doing Python. Stop Python for now. Go back to Excel. Practice Excel. Master Excel. Learn to do the analysis with Excel. Get your hands dirty with Excel." And so for me, it's something like, oh, madam, I want to do real things. I want to do Python. We think like Python is like Python, the real deal. You're doing so much Python, but then no more. So it's not so much about the tools; it's about the analysis itself, right? Any tool can get the job done. Yeah, or some tools can get the job done in depending on the kind of job. Yeah, but then it's not a function of the tool, it's a function of how you think, how you approach the problem, right? How you approach your data. So any tool can get that done for you. And so your mentor was able to help me streamline my learning in a consistent manner, that I could track my progress. And it was at this point that I could say that, oh, I am actually improving. I was actually learning, but I didn't know I was learning, right? Imposter syndrome, whatever it's called. So I know in your career switch journey, you get to some point where you feel like, oh, am I really learning anything? Like, no time, no time. At that point, you need to get a mentor who would help you align your learning step by step, position you, give you relevant materials, guide you to relevant materials that would help you study and get things done on the right track. Yes. At that point, my mentor told me, "Hey, bro, start applying for jobs." Ha 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 ha. Yeah. I was like, "Oh my God, how do I start applying for jobs? I'm not good enough yet." And she said, "Hey, bro, start applying for jobs." Now, before the jobs part, when we start talking about how you can get your first job, how to apply for jobs, we talk about projects, right? Because projects played a significant role for me in the switch, right? Because projects help you assess what you truly or what you think you've learned. Like you get to do the work yourself. Because oftentimes when we watch tutorials on YouTube, you do as they do, you follow the process. But then when you're working on a project on your own, you have to go to Google and search for a unique problem you meet on your project, right? And figure it out yourself, or ask your mentors to assist you here and there. Yeah. And so that's also played a significant factor in my switch. So then I was able to apply for several jobs, got a lot of rejections, failed some tests here and there. And then I was applying for the jobs, failing the technical test, I was realizing that, okay, bro, okay, you need to improve your SQL a little bit. Okay, work on your Power BI a little bit more over here. Okay, try to approach something on Python. Those kind of things here and there I was able to get that information as feedback from the failures I got from the jobs I applied to. Yeah. So I was able to eventually land the job. Yeah. I was able to land the job as data analyst, which is something that's going to happen over time for you. So you can see that this process took 2 years. Yes, all I said happened in 2 years. I started my switch, my career about 5 years ago in the bank, my first job in the bank 5 years ago. But my decision for data science, analytics, and learning began 2 years ago. For you, it may be shorter, it may be longer, but then the whole process was over 2 years for me to eventually land the job to get some key skills. Yeah. And so the point is, number one, if you're looking to make a switch, some key takeaways for you today from these videos is that if you want to make a switch mid-level in your career, know that it's not going to come easy, right? It's not going to come easy. It's not going to be a walk in the park. It's going to require hard work and consistency from you. Secondly, you need to get mentors along the way, and that's why David Data is here, hoping to create some beginner-friendly content that would help you move from ground zero to the point where you can start tackling projects on your own. We're going to be looking at problems from a project point of view, and we're going to be real about it, right? We're going to be real about it. We're also going to see how we can help you come off the place of frustration and burnout and all that. And one of the things we're going to do in David Data is that I'm going to create a Discord server, right? A community for data analysts, beginners to ask questions right there. There are going to be people there experienced as well. They're going to answer your questions, problems you encounter and all that. So okay. So this is my story, this is my experience. I hope you're able to get a thing or two out of this. So the key takeaway is that, number one, know what you want, right? Number two, focus on it with everything you've got. Number three, keep on focusing on it. Right? Keep on focusing on it. Number four, get a mentor. Number five, don't quit. So I'm hoping that as you apply these key takeaways to your personal life, your journey, in your career switch that you expect to happen in your life, in your career, in your mid-career, I'm hoping and trusting that you would also have favorable results after some unfavorable experiences, because definitely you encounter that. All right, so I'm going to close the curtain at this point. Thank you so much if you stayed up to this moment. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And then so look forward to our tutorial videos as regards how you can become a data analyst and also improving your productivity and also around faith. Thank you very much. David Data here. See you next week. Bye.